and let's go to Career Champions and, kickstart our interview with Deborah Luzi. So, thank you for joining me, Deborah. Welcome to everyone to the Career Champions. We are on our sixth interview of 8 interviews that I'm running all throughout this month. The Career Champions is a series of inspiring interviews with incredible people like Deborah, who have followed their passion and created a successful career that they love. Career Champions was created to show that you can create your own career success. These are the stories of your next door neighbor, people that, don't need to be in the cover of magazines, but they created their own success in their own right. My aim with these interviews is to be able to showcase that you can have it too. And you can also create your career success, and you can also become a career champion in your own right. My name is Lucia Margarida Pestana. I am a HR professional, and I am the founder of Pestana's HR and Coaching, a company that helps small business with their HR needs, as well as helping individuals to create the career of their dreams and creating their career success. I've been a HR professional for the last 9 years. I've created departments from scratch, as well as invested in people, and I've trained many managers and employees throughout my experience. As a generalist role, I've learned all areas of HR, so I do have quite an expertise in terms of HR. But today we are talking about Career Champions, and we have Deborah Luzi, who is a writer, an author, and a speaker. She's also the creator of Women Who Dare to Desire conference. So I would like to welcome you. Welcome, Deborah, to the Career Champions.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for this beautiful welcome. And it's such a pleasure to be here. And I have been there with part of your career, Lucia, and I can really witness how amazing you are at what you do. Absolutely can testify that. So.
Thank you. For those of you that don't know, me and Deborah, we used to work together, but Deborah's career expands further than her corporate career. So, Deborah, would you like to give us a sneak peek of what has been your career from working corporate to now owning your own successful business?
Sorry, I have a little bit of cough. Of course. So, obviously, I was working. I've done lots of different type of work, actually, Lucia, from peeling potatoes to making jewelry to picking avocados, and then going to photography, and then bookkeeping, and then corporate. At my last corporate job where I met you, I was an events and marketing manager for about 10 years. Was I happy? Maybe, for some time, the job, was good for me because it taught me a lot of things. It allowed me to meet so many different people like you that I'm still friends with. And it really allowed me to understand what I want, which place I wanted to take in the world. Because definitely I got to a stage where I didn't want to work for somebody else, Lucia, anymore. I wanted to become my own boss. I realized that there was so much more than actually working for somebody else. And so I worked as an events and marketing manager for about 10 years until I started to really realize, as I was saying, that I was meant for more. I was really, when you're talking about the career of your dream, I was really looking at my dreams and thinking, is this what I really want for my life? And then, I started to study coaching. And then one day, one of my little twins had a nearly fatal accident, which it was the final push, Lucia, for me. That was like, okay, Deborah, you got to do something about this. And that's when I started to really realize that you know, I wanted to follow my dream, and I wanted to be more at home with my children and, you know, combine the two together. So that's when I started my business. And yeah, so this is kind of the journey that I had. And funny enough, something that I always say, Lucia, when you start your business, you never nail it from the beginning, right? There's a lot of people, I'm sure that you work with a lot of people. It's like, oh, I'll have the career of my life once I'm 100% sure about what it is. Or I'm going to open my business once I am 100% sure of what I'm going to do. And that 100% doesn't exist.
Right.
It doesn't exist. And actually, if you're waiting to be clear and to nail your message 100%, you're never going to start. You know, all you need is a passion. And that's what I had. I had a passion. I had studied coaching and a lot of different healing modality. So that's how I started, not really knowing what I was doing, to be honest. I just knew that I had a desire to help, to make an impact in the world, and to really be my own boss.
It's a great story. And just for the people watching us, can you explain to them, you know, how has your business evolved from coaching and healing to where it is now, and what is your business?
Yes, absolutely. So what I started obviously doing healing, doing empowerment coaching. I used to do workshop because that is kind of the journey that I had gone through myself. So I was a bit of a mess, like I think many of us are, you know, with your past, with your beliefs, and you know, all the things that you believe about yourself. So I went through a beautiful healing journey, and that really, really helped me to own my voice, to understand that I had a place in this world. I wasn't just a little girl that sit in a corner and don't say anything. So healing really helped me to find my voice and to stand up for myself, even in, you know, situations in my life where people were taking advantage of me. So I did the healing, and I had a clinic. So I was doing healing. I was working mainly with women, helping with trauma, anxiety, depression. And I used different modality like crystal healing. I used NLP, I used coaching, I used Reiki, I used theta healing, lots of different modalities. And then, and also I was doing markets because I make my own jewelry, Lucia. So I was doing markets, and that's how I was attracting the clients. And then what happened, it was that my business was actually doing quite well, right? I had, you know, people coming on my workshop, my clinic, like I call it clinic, my practice was booked, fully booked, that I had to add more days. So people started to ask, people that study healing with me, and they were like, Deborah, you even have less qualification than I have, and you got more clients than I have. I don't know, how do you do it? So then I started to guide people, and I was like, oh, but what are you doing? So I started to look into people businesses, and especially mainly working with coaches and healers, and see what they were not doing, why they were not getting the clients that they needed. So then my focus shifted into helping with the business, helping people to go out there, own their voice, and speaking their truth, and really finding the clarity of the message and their offering. So I started to help business women to grow their business, always with a focus on spirituality. Because I do believe, Lucia, that to grow our business is not just about the strategy. So it's not about you hiring a coach that gives you the funnel, or, you know, tells you, okay, this month you're going to make £5,000. If you want to achieve that, you need to look at this first. You need to really look at the energy that you hold around selling, around showing up. So I started to combine my spirituality with my business. And to make it short, then of course I started to write, to show up in the world. And my post got a lot of noticed. And then one day I just decided to really help people with writing their content. And so I created a Writing Academy for Entrepreneurs, which you're a member. Very, very happy that you're with us. So I created this academy to really help people to sell through their content in a different way. Not in the way that everybody teaches, like, templates and, you got to push and sell, but in a way that comes from your intuition, your heart. Bring it together and create this beautiful content that has these two mixes, of course, with a pinch of strategies. So yes, this is where I am now, and of course, and I do speaking as well. So.
And it works beautifully. I mean, I've been a member of the Academy for the last 2 years, and I can see how it really helps my business to grow, as well as for me defining my own voice in my business. And, for me, it's definitely a great community. There is a bit of your story that I would love for you to share with us. You created the Women Who Dare to Desire conference, and to this day, for me, it was the best conference I've ever been. And trust me, being in HR, learning and development, I've gone to so many different conferences and workshops and coaching weekends and things like that. Tell me, how did you come about to create the Women Who Dare to Desire conference?
I hoped that you asked me this question because I didn't want to pack it all in there. So I left my conference out, and I thought, I hope she asked me about it. Yes. So I always loved speaking. I am a bit of a show woman. You've been to some of my events, and I don't like to have the normal, usual event. I always like to add something interesting, something different. For me, an event is like a show, right? It's not just an event. I want people to have fun, to really stand up and enjoy themselves. That's how I feel. But getting to how I got to the created a Women Who Dare to Desire conference, I wanted to speak because I had a message. I think I had a very powerful message. I mean, there's so many parts of my stories which are very inspiring, and the struggle that I had and the journey that I had. And I just wanted to speak more on stage because I love being on stage. I love to see people transforming and taking action and making decision from me speaking on stage. So it's been a bit of a journey because I remember I've been trying to go on stage. I've been asking people. Some people I asked were like, "Oh, maybe next time," and then I would go more in because sometimes I remember I got this feedback. This woman, she was like, "Oh my God, I love how you are on video. I absolutely love it. I love what you're proposing." And then she went on to speak to her business partner, and she was like, "Oh, sorry, maybe you can come another time." And so I asked, and I said, "What is it? Why?" You said you liked what I wanted to do. And it was my following and a lot of different things. So maybe I didn't have enough following, right? And then I started to feel really, really frustrated. And I remember going to an event, and I wasn't picked for speaking because of my following and because I had to invest money. And I was like, there must be another way. There must be another way where normal women, not with £10,000 to invest in speaking, or with not 1,000 or 10,000 following, can actually go on stage. So I remember that night after receiving another no, which was, the reason why I was getting this no, because I went to bed and I had a little cry. I was very upset. And I woke up in the morning. It was 6 o'clock, and I was like, the voice was loud and clear. My intuition was like, "Deborah, you are to create a Women Who Dare to Desire conference. You are going to create the stage that you want." And I was like, "Really? Are you sure?" And it was very loud and very clear. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? But I always follow the whisper. So I went to speak to my husband. I put like the idea out there. Then I did a live on Facebook. And I said, I'm doing it. And in the space of 3 days, I had the venue. And I created this beautiful conference, which I'm very proud to say that one of the questions that we have in the application form is, have you spoken to any stages before? Please be honest. And have you ever spoken to stage more than 50 plus? And the people that have spoken in smaller stages or have not spoken at all have priority in my conferences. So we have a mix of, people, speakers. We have from never spoken before to a little bit more experience, but always the one that never spoken before get the priority on the one that they apply. So this conference came, and obviously it's very spiritual. It's like a show. We have so much fun. We had music, we had dancing, because that's how I want it to be. I don't want to sit down and, see all these business Thai people and trying to sell me things. And, I want it to be completely a different experience. So this is how, and we've done London. We were supposed to do Rome, but we didn't happen because of the coronavirus. So we're going to Rome next year, and then hopefully we're going to Los Angeles.
That is exciting. It's exciting news. I was Rome bound, but yeah, definitely will be Rome bound next year, and I can't wait for being part of the project, because it's absolutely exciting. And thank you for sharing that story. I mean, if it's not available to you, you create, and that's such a beautiful thing. And I think that's one of the tips that anyone that's watching us can take. Sometimes if what you want is not available for you, it doesn't mean that you have to give up. Maybe you just need to create. You need to create it, or maybe you just need to create something that will give you what exactly you want. Just never give up of what is it that you want for yourself.
I love that, and I add something to that. And make your no your motivator. Don't see a no like a barrier. A no is an invitation. Every time you get a no and somebody's closing a door at you, is an invitation for you to go and open your own door, exactly like Lucia was saying. So do not get paranoid if people are telling you no, even like 20 times or 30 times. If people are saying no, it's because the universe is trying to tell you, hey, they're giving you a no. How many no's do you want before you decide that you're going to do something about it? So that's how it works. The more no you receive is because you don't listen.
Absolutely. And I have to say, it just came to my mind, Kevin Hart, the comedian, in his journey, he had like over 3,700 and something no's, and he never gave up. And look at him, look at where he is now in his career. It's such an inspiration to tell people not to ever give up, and that's great. And thank you for adding that, to the comment. Within any journey, there is always highs and lows. In your experience, what has been the most challenging period in your career?
There's been quite a few. But definitely would be the first time when I stopped from corporate. I had a very fixed salary, and it was a good salary. I was the breadwinner in the house. And then obviously when you start, even if things goes, the way you want, it's never going to be like how, you used to earn. And it's some days you make more money, some other months you make no money. So that was very challenging for me to really see that some months, and I always had to, it's not like when you work in corporate, or wherever you work, at the end of the month, you have the check, right? Either you've done your hours, you've not done your hours, you've been on holiday, whatever you've done, you have your check. And when you start, you need to get used to sell. And it's like, there's nobody doing the sales for you. So if you don't show up, you don't sell. So at the beginning it was really hard because, first of all, I didn't like selling very much. I felt really, my relationship with selling was really difficult. I was like, oh my God, how do I sell myself? What do I say? We have all this paranoia. And talking about money, you have so many beliefs coming up for you, right? Because all these money beliefs that we have since we grow up, you need to work hard for money and money doesn't grow on tree and all these kind of beliefs. And so it was really hard because I didn't have that safe money every month. And of course, I depended more on my husband, and I'm a very independent woman, right? Very, very independent woman. So that was really hard. But at the same time, it taught me to let go a little bit of the control that I have and trust. And, that was, part of the journey. This is what you need to do. But definitely it was challenging, for the finances. And also I invested really heavily when I started my business, Lucia. So everything I was making, it was going back into the business. It was like, I've done it even more than a normal person. Like, maybe you leave 50%, you make 50% and you invest 50%. But I was like making 100 and I would invest 98. So yeah, so that's why, I have a lot of knowledge on, lots of different things. But yeah, I really invested quite a lot at the beginning, and it was really difficult because I felt that I was making the money, but I didn't see it. Mm-hmm. Once I finally nailed it, I was like, okay, I'm making the money here. And then they were just out because I was investing. I thought, I need this and I need this and I need this. And this is kind of the problem that many entrepreneurs have, because when you start a business, you need to have that, you need to have this, and then you see that shiny things, and you almost think that you need to be more, you need to know more to do your business, to be in business. And I'm glad I've learned, and I've done every single course that I've done. They've been amazing, and they taught me made me who I am today. But I would definitely say, trust yourself. Sometimes your judgment, it's important. And invest in what really do you need in that moment, and not too many things at the same time. That's another thing that I would say. So that was rather challenging. And of course, then the dynamic with my husband were changing because I wasn't the breadwinner anymore. So I was at home, and when you're at home, the husband thinks that you're not working, right? So there was a lot of pressure because the money, I was working so hard, but the money were all going. And so it was very difficult that time, to be honest. And yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us. And how did you go about from being a person that didn't like sales very much to becoming a person that absolutely loves sales these days?
I love this question because it was a bit of a journey. And, when I started my business, I mean, obviously, again, when you work in corporate, you just sell for other people. You don't really sell your stuff. And I used to feel sick, and I mean it, Lucia. It's like when I went on sales conversation, I used to say, oh, how's your dog? Oh, I love your earrings. Oh, that's a nice flowers. And I would never, Deborah, come on, say that you're selling something. And I would ooh. And so many times I felt literally sick to say to people to invest in myself. And of course, it's been a journey. I've done an amazing training on selling. That really changed, the way I looked at sales. And I think that's what really helped me, Lucia, to really change the view, how I viewed sales. Because I used to look at sales and it's like, oh my God, this is pushy and I don't like it. And then I started to really shift and I said, Deborah, the selling is not about you. And I always say this example, you go on a plane and, there is a doctor and then there is somebody that needs assistance. Let's say a child is sick. The doctor has the expertise that the child needs, right? So when the steward goes, oh my God, there is a child is sick, can somebody help? The doctor is not going to go like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I know, I'm actually not really, I don't want to really show up myself. I don't want to tell I'm a doctor. The doctor goes and say, here I am, I can help. And I started to see that way. I was like, I have something that people need and I can kick their, energy and make them achieve this. So every time you shut up, Deborah, you're depriving somebody of your help. And you know what, in the end, one of the things that made me shift, Lucia, it was this. I sell. And it's up to you to turn around or to look at me. The choice is always yours. It's like people are like, the adverts that we see on the street. People are selling all the time. You can decide to look or not to look.
Absolutely.
So it's really changing and not making it about you, but like now I love selling. As soon as I go out and I sell everywhere without even realizing it. Because I love what I do. And when somebody, I hear something, I said, oh, I have something that might help you. Do you want to hear about it? And you just say, yeah, oh, I love it. Great, let's do it. And you just say, no, I don't want to hear it. I said, yeah, fine, bye. That's it. It's as simple as that.
That's very great tape. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah.
Good. I wanted to ask you, what advice would you give to someone who is starting their business or going into a new career? What nuggets of wisdom would you be sharing with them?
Okay. So there is a few, but obviously because one of the things that I love doing is really showing, guiding people to show up as they are. One thing that I would say is do not make your business a copycat of somebody else. And do not make yourself as a business owner a copycat of somebody else. And all the things, every time you think about something in your business, you say, oh, you have an idea, and then you go like, oh no, that's crazy. You got to listen to that. That is the first idea that you need to listen, because the scariest idea are the one coming from your intuition, and they are the one that are going to guide you to have the business you desire, because they are from your intuition, right? And your intuition is the voice of your higher self, the wisdom that doesn't know limitation and doesn't have any fears. So whatever feels scary, you got to go there first. And you say, oh, no, I cannot do lives. Oh, no, this name is too adventurous. Go with it. Oh, that sounds too scary. You got to do it. Whatever sounds scary is probably what you need to do, because you have two choices. You can start a business very safe, like everybody else does it, and then be like a ship, following all the ship, following everything that people do. Or you could listen to your whisper and do the things that really feels right, that maybe are different from the other ship, but they are you and will make you stand out and make the people that resonate with your message follow you. And that's where it comes. You need to, when I started my business, I was not like I am now. My voice was lower. I I was trying not to be funny or sarcastic. I was really trying to fit in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely don't try to fit in, and listen to the craziest voice and act on them straight away. That's kind of few things that I can say.
Yeah, that is absolutely great advice. And you know, we're still in lockdown. How has lockdown been for you and your business? How this has impacted you?
Obviously, my business is being offline and online. So obviously the conference, we couldn't do the conference, we couldn't do the speaking event because I have a monthly event called Dare the Stage. So I had to cancel all of that. So I focus more on my writing. And so I created a lot of different things online. So it's been interesting. But to be honest, the actual lockdown, it was easier than now because my husband was at home with the lockdown, and so I could focus a little bit more on my business. You know, he would take the kids, and I would have a little bit more time to focus on my business. But now that he's gone back to work and we have the, you know, kind of the kids are not at school, I find it a little bit challenging, you know, to find the time. But definitely everything that I have, it's focus online. So one of the things that I really learned to do, it's plan. It's absolutely planning, Lucia, especially if any viewers here, you got children, you really need to like plan and have like, okay, this month I'm launching this. I have this amount of client. I can only have this amount of calls. I can only do this. So you really need to plan because my time is a little bit, you know, restricted. So definitely. But apart from that, it's been an interesting journey as well, you know, like being at home with the children, like as a family. We found a lot of happiness in the little things. Like our lounge became a trampoline with my children. The bedroom became a football pitch. My mattress became a trampoline again. We built a house in the balcony. So it's been an interesting experience. It's definitely been a very interesting experience. But yeah, so you just have to ride the waves.
It's really good advice. And I think a lot of mothers probably will be resonating with having the children at home and almost like you have to entertain the children at all the times, you know, and obviously that it leaves you little or no time for you to focus on your business as well. You know, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And one last question for you, Deborah. What does the future hold for Deborah Lucy?
Ooh, I like that question. You have really good question. I like it. I'm really enjoying this. What the future holds, I am I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer, and I love dreaming, and I love dream big. You know, when I created a conference, I remember going for a venue that had like nearly 200 people, and my friend was like, "What? I thought you would go for a venue for 40 people." And I said, "No." So what the future holds, definitely I want to expand my writing academy. We have 55 members now. And so I want to expand that. And I want to take my conference in more different places all over the world. And I want to have a lot of speakers, you know, among the speakers that we have, I want to bring really people that maybe they have a story to share, but they have, you know, they're not even speakers. Maybe the mothers in a remote village, or somebody that had, you know, grow their children, like 7 children by herself, or like people that have some amazing stories. So I want to take the conference all over the world and really give a stage and a voice to many more women. And so hopefully that. Then I want to, create small writing event in London for people to really connect to their writing, to their writing genius. And the plan is really, because at the moment I am helping some other charities, with providing pen and education to children. So maybe in the future I could create my own. I could have my own, support, or create my own way of actually bringing more. Because at the moment I'm just donated to charity that already exists. So maybe I could create my own project to bring more pens and pencil and more education in many remote countries. So yeah, that would be, and keep being with my children and showing them how to go after the dream, not telling them to go after the dream, but me showing it to them. So
no, that is beautiful, and thank you very much for sharing with us. Definitely, I mean, since I've known you, I think you've always been very passionate about creating your own charity, and I'm pretty sure that will happen sooner rather than later, as I know you. So really, really wish you all the best with that. Just to, for anyone that's watching us, thank you very much for watching. We have another 2 career champions interviews coming up. So this week, Thursday, I will be interviewing Ana Luisa Tavares, who is a wedding photographer, but she's actually a lot more than that. Come and join us for a chat and, to know a bit more about her style of photographing and what she really stands for. And then on Tuesday, we will have the last interview of this series, and that will be with Susan James, who is a caterer, a private caterer, and she does a lot of events for corporate. She's also super passionate about charity, and she sponsors quite a few youth projects. So we will be talking about her career, building her own business, and obviously the charity work as well. For all of you that watched us, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, go and share it with your friends, with your families, as well as your enemies, because they also need some positivity in their lives. And keep watching, and if you know anyone who is a career champion, please let me know who they are. I would love to have a chat with them so that, we can have a second series of career champions. I've been getting a lot of support online and offline. It's been an incredible journey for me as well to be able to share everyone's story. So if you know anyone, do let me know. I would love to hear from you. And yeah, as always, look after yourselves and each other. Be awesome, be inspired, and be yourselves. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Yeah, thank you everybody for watching.
Thank you.